We will bring you that, but let's turn to our politics lead now. This afternoon, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer held an on-camera briefing and took reporters' questions. That's something that in and of itself should not be news, but in this case it is, because the Trump administration has been keeping reporters at bay for more than a week. In important ways, the Trump White House has been less transparent than its predecessors. It's just an empirical fact. Even for those who thought President Obama's administration never lived up to its ballyhooed promises of transparency, President Obama did release his tax returns, as has been standard for presidents for years. President Trump has not yet released his. President Obama eventually acquiesced and released most of his White House visitor logs, but President Trump does not share any of them. Literally nothing about who is coming to see him. President Obama golfed quite a bit, as does President Trump, but the Obama White House would tell the public when he was hitting the links and with whom. This White House, for whatever reason, keeps that information private. Even the White House briefings are now shorter, with more non-answers, and a new trend of not allowing cameras or even audio recordings of what your White House is saying on any given day. People in power like to hide things from the public. We called it out under President Obama, and now it is empirically worse and more opaque. You have a right to know what's going on in the people's house, whether related to the Russia cloud that continues to hamper President Trump's agenda, or his plans for Afghanistan, or tax reform, or health care legislation, all of it. Let's go right to CNN's Jim Acosta, who was at the White House and attended today's briefing. And Jim, originally this was not on the schedule for today.
Oh, that's right. It was out and then it was in. The White House, though, Jake, did return to somewhat normal behavior and answering questions from reporters on camera today. But White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer appeared to create some news of his own at today's briefing when, incredibly, he said he did not know whether the president believes Russia interfered in the election, something that did happen, according to U.S. intelligence agencies. It was lights, camera, action for White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer, who held his first on-camera briefing in more than a week. But Spicer declined to provide any real answers to a key question nagging this White House, whether the president believes Russia interfered in the election.
Does President Trump believe that the Russian government interfered in the 2016 elections?
I think I have not sat down and talked to him about that specific thing.
Didn't the president say that Russia was fake news? On North Korea, the White House tried to deflect any blame over the death of American Otto Warmbier. During a meeting with the president of Ukraine, Mr. Trump suggested the Obama administration was responsible.
It's a total disgrace what happened to Otto. That should never, ever be allowed to happen.
Though the president seemed to concede, his efforts to prod China to put pressure on North Korea failed, tweeting, "While I greatly appreciate the efforts of President Xi and China to help with North Korea, it has not worked out. At least I know China tried." A former Obama administration official defended the former president's attempts to secure Warmbier's release. These tireless efforts resulted in the release of at least 10 Americans from North Korean custody during the course of the Obama administration. It's painful that Mr. Warmbier was not among them, but our efforts on his behalf never ceased. At the briefing, Spicer appeared to blame the Obama administration.
The president believes that had it happened sooner or quicker, potentially there might have been additional medical resources that could have been provided.
On the pressing domestic issue of health care reform, Spicer acknowledged the president has criticized the House bill aimed at repealing Obamacare behind closed doors as heartless.
The president clearly wants a bill that has heart in it.
Democrats have seized on the president's criticism to slam Senate Republicans for crafting their own version of the bill behind closed doors.
President Trump likes to end many of his tweets with one word, almost like punctuation. Sad, unfair, wrong. Well, it turns out that the president has one word to sum up his health care plan as well: mean. For once, on the topic of health care, I find myself agreeing with the president. His health care bill is mean.
Even some Republicans have had it.
We used to complain like hell when the Democrats ran the Affordable Care Act. Now they're doing the same thing.
As for Spicer, he appeared to confirm the White House is looking at moving him out of the briefing room and into another role.
Right here, we're always looking for ways to do a better job of articulating the president's message and his agenda.
A job at least one conservative mentioned as a successor doesn't want.
Yeah, I'm not sure the press secretary thing is something I'm dying to do.
There were still no answers to the question of whether the president has recordings of his conversations here at the White House. Spicer once again said the president will make that announcement when he's ready. So, Jake, the answer still exists. Where are the tapes? Jake?
All right, Jim Acosta, thank you so much. New question.